Welcome to Build Out with Jim Kunkel, your go-to broadcast for learning more about business in the real world. Your host, Jim Kunkel, who is an accomplished professional in business development, sales, and marketing, and is a technical content creator along with being a rising influencer on LinkedIn. On Build Out, you'll get the latest information and knowledge from subject matter experts from across the globe. Okay, let's get this Build Out broadcast started. And here's your host, Jim Kunkel.
Hey, welcome to Build Out. I'm Jim Kunkel. One of the most frequent questions I get from people related to my broadcast is, what is LinkedIn Live? How do I get access to that? And what are some of the streams that I can do? And I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk about the process with LinkedIn Live, but also to explain how I do my broadcast. And then also, too, this leads into next month where I'm going to be interviewing different influencers who also broadcast on multiple different platforms, primarily on LinkedIn. But before I get into my conversation with you, I wanted to do a shout out to sponsor of the program, coffeebrandcoffee.com. If I greatly appreciate your support of this broadcast by visiting coffeebrandcoffee.com by using the special link that's in this episode's description, but also to link in the comments. And you'll also find it on the other platforms that I'll be broadcasting this as well. So let's go ahead and we'll get into the conversation regarding LinkedIn Live. So a few years ago, I had applied for LinkedIn Live to be able to live stream on LinkedIn. There is an application process where you complete information, but before you even want to get to that point of filling out any type of request to get access, you want to make sure that you have a couple things lined up regarding your profile, either your professional profile or if you have a business page. Now, you need to have an audience base, and they set the threshold pretty low. You need to have more than 150 followers or connections, either as a member or if you have a business page. The other thing that you want to make sure that you have is that you have recent and frequent posts of original content. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about creating video. You could do some posts that you're doing, maybe some graphics that you're doing, and things like that related either to your profession, to your company, to maybe some types of concepts and things like that. But original content is very important. And I always stress the video content. They really look at that. They go back and they look at your activity, your likes, your shares, what you're commenting on, and again, what you're creating and putting it out there. Because ultimately what you're looking to become is a content creator and get what they call a creator mode, where you have the ability to have newsletters, live stream, also too, eventually when LinkedIn audio rolls out, the plan is that they're going to have an audio format, which would be live audio, kind of like what a Clubhouse app is, and go that route as well. So there's multiple ways this platform, especially on LinkedIn, is benefiting users and also companies. The other thing is you want to have a clear history regarding community policies. And I always follow the golden rule. I post stuff that I feel that I would be comfortable reading, seeing, and the same thing goes back out when I post things. So anything that's ultra conservative, controversial, or something that might be a little bit over the line, stay clear of that. Remember, the different platforms you're on, they all have whole community different guidelines. For example, this live stream right now goes over LinkedIn, YouTube, my YouTube channel, and also my Facebook, my professional profile on Facebook. So all three have different community guidelines and policies that you need to follow. And then geographically, currently with live streaming on LinkedIn, it is not available in China. But once you meet that criteria, that's the time to apply. And it's a real simple process, and where you will fill out information to LinkedIn. They will review it. The administrators will review it, and then you will get a notification. And it typically happens relatively quick. It can take sometimes a week. It depends on the amount of requests that they have lined up. But if you typically don't hear anything within 3 weeks, there's a good chance that you didn't get approved for it. Now, when I originally applied for LinkedIn Live status to be able to use the resource, I didn't get approved. And so luckily, I was able to connect with a staff person with LinkedIn and asked a lot of really good questions. I did a little digging into what do I need to do? And I found out really the big thing was it doesn't matter the amount of followers you have and the connections you have. That's important, but original content. And so if you go back and you look at over 2 years ago, roughly when I first applied, I started putting out short videos, lessons, 2-minute lessons, and started doing interviews where I would just post it through a link through my YouTube channel. But then once I started to really gain some status on the videos, the likes, the shares, then all of a sudden I applied and I did get approved. And for about 2 years now, I've been live streaming content, anything from the corrosion and coatings content I did in the past to now with build out with all the business topics. But what I say to everybody is if you don't get it, don't worry about it. What you want to be able to do is just reevaluate what you're doing on LinkedIn, go back at it again when it comes to content creation, original content, and then reapply for it as well. So how to use LinkedIn Live. LinkedIn Live requires that you have streaming equipment and you have a basic setup. And what I wanted to share with you is what I have as a setup. So this photo I have right now, this is actually what I'm sitting in front of right now. And it consists of a refurbished HP Chromebook, $400 Chromebook that I got for $270 because it's refurbished. I've had it for almost 2 years now. It works like a champ. It's got, for the platform that I use to stream on, which is StreamYard, it has enough power to be able to do a lot of things. And so it's the perfect Chromebook for this type of a streaming and broadcasting when I go out. Above it, there's a little monitor I paid $60 for, and it's an HDMI monitor. And that's when I want to share screens. So for example, right now I'm screen sharing, so I'm using that little monitor. Beside that, I have two lights that focus on me, LED lights that focus on me, and they can do color filters as well. And above that, I bought through Home Depot 2 LED spots that I use as well. The microphone is a Blue Yeti microphone, and I got a boom attached to it. Other than that, and I have lavalier. I have earphones that I do wear when I interview people, so this way I can hear better, and there's no feedback that happens as well. Behind me right now, you can see the photo of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I have a green screen wall that I painted candy apple green, and that's what I use for a green screen. So this is the type of setup I have. It's relatively inexpensive, and a computer station that I got for, I think I paid maybe $150 for the computer stand that this is on. So I'd say relatively under $600, I can have a setup, and I've utilized this setup for the last almost 2 years now. Again, you don't have to spend a lot of money to be able to broadcast or even create videos as well. You can really do it with some real basic equipment and rely on a lot of the online services and platforms that are available out there. So when it comes to the live streaming platform, you have to have a platform. And the platform that I use is StreamYard, but you also have other platforms out there like Restream, Ecamm Live. There's different ones out there. And I always tell people, if you follow a broadcaster, ask them, what do you use? And typically what a lot will use is Restream, StreamYard. Now, how StreamYard works is it's all based off of your web browser. Chrome is the more stable of the browsers to use, but everything is hosted on the StreamYard side. And what's very nice about that, the only thing I really need to do is push buttons, pop up comments, start and stop videos, do screen shares, run slides, things like that. Real basic stuff. A lot of this is done behind the scenes by StreamYard, and it's a relatively inexpensive a platform to work with. For $200 to $300 a year. There's free options and things like that, but it also comes with their branding and everything like that. So there's a lot of options you can go with if you do want to use a third party, but you need to use a third party. And for example, with StreamYard, like I said earlier, I'm streaming simultaneously here to LinkedIn, my YouTube channel, and my professional Facebook profile as well. So you can stream into multiple platforms at the same time. The cool thing with doing a live stream, is that this will become an archive, and then you can watch it on demand. So as I always say, my greatest amount of views come from replays, people watching after the broadcast is live and it ends. Then it's an opportunity for people to watch the replay, and lots of views that way as well. And then the other thing you would need to do is you're going to connect your LinkedIn account to your streaming service, your third-party platform. And the same thing goes to the other platforms that you might be looking to stream onto. And then you want to always test your internet connection. So prior to the stream, up into the stream, I'm always doing a speed check, where you want to be able to go check exactly how fast your uploads are, your downloads are. It's always good to do that. The other thing I would recommend too, and this has happened to me before, I've had occasion where I might be going into a stream or in a stream, and all of a sudden my Chromebook wants to update. And so it's prompting me because I have it set so that it needs to prompt me before it will do any. So you want to make sure you look at your settings so that you don't have any type of bandwidth issues, because all of a sudden your computer is downloading some big files, and then that can cause a little hiccup for you. Or if it's trying to restart, that's always the fun thing, is when you're trying to do work, or if you're streaming broadcasting and the computer's trying to restart because it's a major update that's done. So always do a pre-check that way. So I always search to see, is there any type of updates that need to be done on applications? Is there any updates that need to be done on the operating system, which, for example, for my example here, for my setup would be Chrome. So always check that as well. One consideration you might want to look into is getting support or having a producer. So for example, I do everything solo, but I've had other broadcasts, friends that broadcast here on LinkedIn and other platforms that I've helped them behind the scenes. So there's a lot of ways that you can team up with either other broadcasters, or if you want to, you could actually have somebody that maybe will be doing it as a favor, or maybe you're paying them to help produce. So this way you can just focus on not pushing all the buttons and switching the levers and everything, but just focus on the conversation, the topic, and the communication with your audience. Promote. You always want to make sure you're promoting. So what I typically will do is on Monday morning when I post the Wednesday noon live stream, I'll also put additional information in there regarding the guest. I might send out invitations depending on the topic, and I can go through my connections network and either mass send it, or I can specifically send it. And I've been very targeted as I do that. And if you have a guest, your guest has the same capability in LinkedIn to be able to invite into their connections network as well. So you get that multiplying effect. What's nice about that is it can help drive the amount of viewers at the stream when it's going live, but also in the replay as well, because that becomes part of, if they do accept it, it's part of their feed. The other thing is, for your guest, it's part of their feed too and their LinkedIn profile. The other promotion that I do is the morning of the stream. I will do, this is what's basically coming up at noon. And then if you want to do anything special, and I've had situations where, good example, working with Bruno Batista and also with Jill Alexander, we had done a couple live stream panel discussions in the construction industry and the trades, where we were talking about suicide prevention. So when you might have a panel discussion going on, maybe those are ones where you want to do a little bit more frequent, or if it's on a topic that's very key and important, such as that topic, you want to be able to promote it a little bit more so that you have a maximum amount of viewers who are also participating. Because the cool thing with a live stream is people can post messages live, they can ask questions live, and they also can come on board on the stream too, because there's links that you can share with them if you want to add guests while you're on the air. So there's a lot of unique opportunity when you're looking at live streaming. And then the big thing is you're never always ready. And I remember, you go back and look at some of the early days with me live streaming, the nervousness, second guessing yourself. Be yourself, be who you are, and have that conversation with everybody. Put yourself out there, but just start streaming and have fun at it, because over time you get better. And I always tell people, if you go back and look at content that I did 2 years ago versus today, big difference, because you learn, you grow, and you also really discover that you have a lot more capability and capacity than you thought. And what I do, this isn't very complex. Having a live stream, once you have everything processed, set up in place, all you do is basically everything falls into place for you. It's, topics, guests. I put out a calendar of focus topics every month to cover. Like I said, going into next month into August, the focus is going to be on influencers, and also how to become an influencer, and some of the things you can do if you want to broadcast. So there's kind of a little bit of a influencer focus next month. But you set those things, and once you have everything, it's a process, it's repeatable, very easy to work with, doesn't take up a lot of time, really doesn't. In graphic work, there's a lot of great programs. You have Canva, there's other programs you can use, and it's just simple to be able to utilize their stock, their video, their audio, their graphics. They even offer a lot of recommendations on what a thumbnail should look like, what video feed would look like. And then this way you can do your intros, your outros, and they look super professional. They look great. So LinkedIn Live best practices. The first thing that you want to consider is choosing relevant topics, and you want to make sure that they do engage the audience, because the greatest thing you want to have is feedback coming from your audience. Now, currently we're in the summer here in North America, and what I've found, even last year into this year, my stream participation when I'm live is down significantly during the North America summer months. Fall, winter, and early spring are the best when it comes to engagement. So something that cycles like that, there could be a consideration of maybe I should take the summers off in North America and not broadcast, or cut down my broadcast. And that's something to consider if you have a series that you want to do as seasons. For me, from day when I first started broadcasting, for some reason in my mind, I want to continue doing something every Wednesday at noon. I like the lunchtime streams. I think it's a great opportunity for me just to have a great conversation on a great topic with somebody, and hopefully it benefits the audience and they get some fun and value out of it. So setting a schedule and consistency is key, is very important to have a set schedule on Wednesdays at noon Eastern, on Wednesdays every week. If we're in a holiday week coming up, we have Thanksgiving coming up, probably we'll have a recorded episode that I will stream. So that's another option too to consider. If time is an issue or your guests have some challenges, record in the evening. I've done that multiple times. I've recorded on the weekends, and take that recording, edit it, and then stream that. So those are options that you can do as well. The participation really is not there because you're not doing a live broadcast, but at least you'll be able to deliver content. And if maybe you have a great interview, or it opens up opportunity for you to interview really interesting people who might not be able to dedicate that Wednesday at noon to be able to have a conversation. Cross-promote with others in the community. One of the communities I belong to is called LinkedIn Live Streams. And LinkedIn Live Streams is basically a large group or fellowship of broadcasters that utilize LinkedIn to promote their brand, talk about topics, or just have general interviews when it comes to members on LinkedIn or other professionals. So cross-promoting with others. Join these groups. And the other thing is there are other industry groups as well. If you're in a particular industry, join that group and cross-promote with that group. The next thing you want to do is mobilize your LinkedIn community. And this is what's important. Frequently, you'll see from me when I post, I will share with everybody the amount of views I have And then the other thing when it comes to YouTube channel, subscribers. Subscribers are very critical and important. You want to continue to grow your subscriber base, but you also want to make sure that your analytics look great. So you're always doing quality control on what you're broadcasting. What resonates, what works. If it doesn't work, go back and make some changes, adjustments, and things like that. And so that's something that I do where I utilize my LinkedIn community to be able to say, Jim, this is the content we enjoy. This is the content we find value in. And then if I see things drop, then I know, okay, not interested in a pure audio stream, which I recently did. And the numbers unfortunately dropped on that. So that indicated to me that not a lot of people were interested in just purely audio over LinkedIn, unless hopefully when when the LinkedIn audio rolls around, maybe that'll be a little different for me. But again, that's research that really needs to be done. So utilize your LinkedIn community. Like I said, when you set up a stream, you send out invites to people, and to be able to connect with them that way to get them to put it on their calendar, participate with the live stream, or hopefully if they don't, do a replay and watch the video from the recorded video from the live stream itself. You'll be rough at first, keep going, get better. And that's the same thing that happened with me. At first, very rough, you get better, and let your audience tell you exactly what you need to know, and let them help guide you, because the audience knows, and that information has benefited. Look at the analytics, let the audience tell you where to go. The most important thing I tell everyone is be natural, fresh as a host. Be yourself. Don't be, you don't need to be broadcast quality. Again, this is not primetime news or anything like that. So just be yourself in real life, IRL, in real life. People like a general conversation. So if I stutter, stumble, sometimes that happens. That's natural. And then you want to broadcast at least a minimum of 15 minutes. Some ask me, what's the length you want to, and I've always tried to say, 15 to 20 minutes is a minimum. But sometimes with live streams, depending on how much engagement you have and interaction you have when it comes to questions and comments that are posted, you could run a half hour, 45 minutes. When you do a panel discussion, you need to plan at least a good 60-minute stream, if not longer, because you have more guests and more conversations going on. So really plan out your broadcast accordingly. I've had broadcasts go 15 minutes. I've had some go well over an hour. I had one live stream that I did on a Saturday and co-hosted with Heidi Brooks from VCP Sales, and we did on the corrosion day. That's what it was, Corrosion Day. We went over 2 hours. It was a great live stream. We had participation from literally all different corners of the globe. So those are things to consider when it comes to broadcast time. And then optimize your LinkedIn presence. I think it's important for you. Think of what you can do. If you have the ability to do a newsletter, take advantage of that. That's something I need to do. Post short content video. Do other posts as well, either in your industry or your profession or on a topic that's going to be relevant on LinkedIn. The other thing too is look at, writing some articles that you can post on your profile. Those are important as well. So think of other ways that you could optimize your LinkedIn presence. LinkedIn's live stream ideas. When it comes to ideas, the one that I really fall back on a lot is interviewing experts or what I would say industry celebrities. In your particular industry, your profession, you're going to have people who are the rock stars. If you can score an interview with them, take advantage of that, because that's a great way to lift your profile up. The other thing is to promote your broadcast to a newer level, and I think it's a good way to get a lot more followers. Reviewing industry trends or industry news, that's always a great way as well, where you would review current trends that are happening, new technologies, new approaches, and then with industry news, maybe you have a particular company expansion plan. It's a great way to take advantage of live and to talk about that and to really go above and beyond a press release. Host an important topic panel discussion. Earlier I had mentioned about teaming up with Bruno Batista and also with Joe Alexander, and where we did suicide prevention, and we focus on the construction and trade industry. And, those were two special live streams that we had done. And, what's really nice about that is that we cover an important topic. We had professionals come in who were doctors and psychologists and industry experts when it came to safety and also dealing with mental challenges. And we were able to talk through the situation that exists, a problem, and also talk about ways that we all can pull together to help resolve those problems, or let's open up that discussion and dialogue, because it's always important to talk about things that are challenging out there. And having a panel is a great way. Also, too, you can apply that to, technical products, new technologies, new services, and things like that by having a panel discussion. If you're launching or demoing a new product or service, again, live streaming is a great way. LinkedIn is a great way to roll out that new product or that service. Another one that I like to do, and I've done it a few weeks back, is a Ask Me Anything, where you ask ahead of time for questions, and then you're going to ask during the broadcast for people to post questions and ask questions of you. It's great to do an Ask Me Anything. Live stream at a trade event or conferences. Many of you probably have seen episodes that are done, broadcasts that are recorded or live stream from different trade events or conferences. And that's a great way to kind of help enhance your presence at a trade show or a trade event or a conference. But it's also a good way to tie in some of the participants from the conference. Or maybe if you get lucky, you can cross-promote with the trade event or the conference organizers. And that's another very unique way to kind of cross-promote and to help grow your views. Holiday and seasonal specials. These are great where you might want to tackle certain holidays. Maybe you do a Thanksgiving special, Christmas special, year in review. Last year, three of the most viewed, both live and in a replay, live streams that I had. The first one was Halloween horror stories, and that was an evening broadcast before Halloween. Great participation live, and the replays, the views on that stream were through the roof. The second one was a year in review that I did in December, and that was good live and also replay, and that was a few weeks before Christmas. And then right after Christmas, I did a trends for 2022 and covered some of the predictions that people had for trends that were going into 2022. I did that as a panel, and that went over very well. So panels are really great. I really enjoy doing panel live streams. And that's it for this episode. So what I highly encourage everyone is to, consider getting into live streaming. If you have any questions regarding LinkedIn Live, if you just Google LinkedIn Live, and you could go to the site where they have FAQs on it, you get a lot of great information on it, and how to apply and all that kind of good stuff, best practices. So I appreciate this opportunity to have a conversation with you today, and look forward to next week's live broadcast. So everyone have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
I hope you found value with today's Build Out broadcast. Make sure you connect with Jim on LinkedIn and subscribe to his YouTube channel. This way you'll be notified on new live streams and when new content is released. Please give today's broadcast a like and share with your connections and colleagues. Thanks for watching, and please visit buildoutproductions.com for additional content and to join the mailing list so you can keep updated on other streams and quality content from the creators on the Build Out Productions team.